I need to preface this video with this disclaimer. I am still bullish on Bitcoin for the long term. This video is my effort to bring some awareness to the current reality and how it could very well affect what we know to be true of the Bitcoin halving event. As a quick recap, Bitcoin is designed so that the rewards given to miners of Bitcoin are halved approximately every 4 years, or specifically every 210,000 blocks that are mined. These rewards are newly minted Bitcoin and are separate from the transaction fees that the miners are also paid. Now, this halving of rewards effectively makes Bitcoin a deflationary asset with a known supply that is set to reduce by half until there will one day no longer be any new Bitcoin created. Since there is value in scarcity, you can see how this can easily attribute to a long-term bullish price outlook for Bitcoin and for other cryptos who follow suit. These halving events are very hyped up and for good reason, but this time things might be different. First of all, once the halving event goes down, contrary to what most people might think, there will not be an immediate response in regards to real price movements. Even in the best of circumstances, the pricing effects of the halving event don't typically kick in until at least 2 months after the fact. I think everyone should understand that fact. So, for those of you who are considering doing what should be considered the unthinkable, like taking out loans or charging your recent Bitcoin purchases that you can't actually afford to your credit card, thinking that you'll get that guaranteed return on investment in a very quick turnaround because the halving event always produces Bitcoin's next all-time high price, I'm sorry to say, but I think you need to readjust your expectations at the very least because, as I stated just now, in a very normal, typical situation of the halving event, the price movements won't kick in until at least 2 months after. But in this particular situation we are in, it might even take longer. Now, here's why. 2 words: liquidity crisis. I've gone in depth on this topic in my recent videos, spotlighting things like deleveraging. If you don't know what that is or how it will affect you, please take the time to watch this video that you see in the upper right-hand corner. It is also linked down below in the video description. And also, additionally, I encourage you to check out the live streams that my husband Toby and I host every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern as we delve into what's happening in the global markets, how this can affect you and the crypto markets, and how you can prepare accordingly. Now, we're really looking at a perfect storm here, a deleveraging event that has been long awaited, matched with a global shutdown and quarantine that is stopping nearly every business in its tracks, with all signals pointing towards investors looking for liquidity, also known as cashing in their investments. This unprecedented situation of global shutdown of trade and job losses is very likely to result in people contracting rather than spreading out their investments. This is a crucial time for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to prove itself as a safe haven. If you're familiar with this channel at all, then you already know how I feel about this cryptocurrency space and how it can be so much better than the fiat system it was designed to make obsolete. Bitcoin's scheduled deflationary model, aka these halving events, is a huge contributing factor for this. In fact, in a world of constantly inflating, perhaps even hyperinflating fiat currencies, what could be more of a safe haven than an asset that is hard-coded to be deflationary? Now, for those of you who enjoy looking at the numbers, we have this tweet by Plan B. He says, to maintain $7,000 price of Bitcoin since October 2017, Bitcoin must have had about $400 million of new cash inflow every month the last 2.5 years. Now, after the halving, we only need $200 million per month to keep that $7,000 level. If it stays at $400 million as it has been, then He says, we're heading to the moon. Additionally, Adam Back has retweeted this with some comments. He is actually one of the very original contributors to helping to develop Bitcoin in its early stages. He says, plus, some activity is uncertain, waiting to see what happens with the halving. And if there is positive movement, the media talks about it and creates a positive reflexivity loop, looking forward to the quantitative hardening event when Bitcoin's rate of coin supply halves. That's a great term he just coined there, quantitative hardening, compared to the quantitative easing that we're seeing the Federal Reserve put into place, also known as currency printing, also known as turning on those printing presses and inflating the supply. Now, perhaps the timing of this third halving event is just what Bitcoin needs to prove to the world its legitimacy as a safe haven asset. Now, the real beauty here is that it doesn't matter if the world believes it. Bitcoin will continue on regardless.